Hi, welcome to Being Mindful. I'm Susan, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I lead virtual group meditations, and today's meditation is a basic sound focused meditation. I've done quite a few of these, but because sound is what it is, every single one is completely different. So I hope that you will join me in listening to what's going on around you. You'll also hear sounds from my end as well. Obviously, I'm talking, but you can hear sounds in my environment and you can incorporate that into your practice as well. I find that the practice of a sound focused meditation can be helpful if you struggle with other types of meditation. If it's hard for you to keep your focus on your breath or keep your focus on a body scan, because the sounds that are changing from moment to moment sort of provide a little bit of stimulation that can be helpful. And this practice of paying attention to sound without judgment, just taking it as it is perfect for mindfulness. And it's a skill that you can take with you into the rest of your life. So let's get started. A lot of times, what I do as we transition from not meditating to meditating is give you a chance to actually move your body a little bit. So, meditation doesn't have to be you sitting stock still, it's okay to move. And sometimes, when we move at the beginning of a meditation, if we stretch, if we lower our shoulders and unclench our jaws and just notice anything that feels tight and loosen if that's possible. And that can sort of be this little positive association that comes with meditation. I tend to close my eyes during meditation, and you can too if that's comfortable for you. But if you have a history of trauma or you have difficulty hearing, there are lots of reasons why having your eyes open during meditation can be helpful. And if you find that in the meditation something is coming up for you that you're struggling with, try opening your eyes. That switch can be helpful. If you're sitting, it can be helpful to have both feet on the floor and to sense that contact between the feet and the floor, to be aware of this grounding, literally, that we are rooted to the ground. When we move into meditation, we were likely doing something before we sat down to meditate. And very likely, we have something planned when we're done. And so, any of these thoughts of reflecting on what just happened or what could happen or will happen, just let those move into the background while we focus on what's happening right now. One of my very favorite things to focus on that happens in the present moment is sound. There are so many layers of sound that we can pay attention to, things that are obvious and things that are more subtle. So, as we focus on sound together, I often like to start with what you can hear that is outside of the dwelling, the building that you are in, if you can hear anything outside. So, a lot of us are meditating in our homes, so we can hear things like nature, birds or wind or rain. People doing yard work, cars passing by, planes flying overhead. And if you are in a location where you really can't detect any outside type noise, you can really just listen to my voice because that is happening outside of you, although you're probably hearing it on some device that is right next to you. And the thing about these outside noises is that they tend to vary a lot. If you're hearing traffic, you'll hear the sound of some vehicle approaching, and then you'll hear it recede into the distance. If it's birds, you might hear sort of a constant chirping, but each chirp is unique. And then we can begin to move inward a little bit. If you're in a room, you can notice any sounds that you can hear outside your room, but inside your home or building. Perhaps there are other human beings that you can hear evidence of. A floor creaking, voices, footsteps, laughter. Or perhaps you share space with an animal, some other creature that is making noise. Or there might be evidence of something powered by electricity. In homes, we sometimes hear washing machines or dishwashers or televisions. In offices, we might hear photocopiers or printers, other people's equipment. We can move even closer into the room that you are sitting in. These sounds that are a little bit closer to you, but still outside of you. produced by something that isn't you. There might be a fan or air conditioning or heating, something that's blowing that you can hear. If you're sharing space with a desktop or a laptop, you can often hear the fan of the computer, a rhythmic hum. There may be sound emanating from other electronic equipment that you have around you that you tend not to notice, but if you're paying attention to it now, you can begin to detect just a constant hum of some sort. Maybe there's a clock ticking, or perhaps you share space with another human being or an animal that you can hear within your own room. Just noticing what there is to listen to. We can also tune into the sounds we make ourselves, either through movement. Right? If you shift in your chair and you can actually hear a sound that makes. You can even move your body if you'd like to. One interesting sound I've noticed is when I rotate my head to stretch my neck. As I come around the back, my head makes some interesting noises. Maybe yours does too. There are the sounds that we create within us unintentionally. A growling stomach, those gurgles that we hear. When we breathe in and out, we not only sense that in terms of what it feels like, but we can hear it as well. We can, of course, exaggerate our breath to make it more audible. But we can also hear it even when it's at a normal pace if we listen. If we can allow all those other sounds to shift into the background, to sort of fade away and really tune into ourselves, perhaps we can even hear the beat of our own heart. We can hear the rushing of blood as it moves through the body. We can hear the sound of our swallowing. I'll invite you to let your ears play and take in whatever sound is calling your attention. You can broaden the focus so that many sounds are experienced at once, or you can choose a particular sound that you'd like to pay closer attention to. And if your mind has wandered during this meditation, if you have realized that you are no longer paying attention to sound, congratulations, you're practicing. You notice that the mind has wandered and you bring it back to the sound. As we approach the end of the meditation, you can once again move in whatever ways would be satisfying to you. Wiggle fingers and toes. Gently open the eyes or allow the gaze to lift. Take a moment to reflect before you head back into your busy day. As always, I love to hear what happened for you if you're willing to share that in the comments. What did you hear in your environment? What was surprising? What was normally irritating but was kind of fun for you when you did it in this context? If you found this to be a helpful practice, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, I'd love to have you join me for future meditations. At the end, I will leave links to additional meditations that are kind of like this one that you could try if you found this one to be helpful. Thanks so much and have a great day.